Some people become intelligent through education, others through experience. But there's another kind of intelligence, far rarer, far sharper, and often born from pain. It's called traumatic intelligence. The ability to read danger before it arrives, to notice emotional shifts nobody else sees, to adapt instantly, to stay alert in rooms that feel off for reasons you can't explain. People with traumatic intelligence usually don't realize they have it, because what looks like wisdom from the outside often feels like exhaustion on the inside. This kind of intelligence is not learned in classrooms, it's developed in survival mode. And if you relate to these signs, you may have one of the most powerful forms of psychological awareness a person can possess. Sign 1. You read people almost too fast. Most people listen to words. You watch micro-reactions, tone changes, forced smiles, energy shifts, fake enthusiasm, hidden resentment. You notice things people try desperately to hide. And the strange part? You're usually right. People with traumatic intelligence often grew up in emotionally unpredictable environments, so the brain adapted by becoming hyper-aware. Your mind learned that survival depended on reading people correctly before something bad happened. That's why you can walk into a room and instantly feel tension others ignore. You notice the person pretending to be confident, the friend hiding jealousy, the manipulator masking anger with politeness. You don't just hear communication, you detect emotional weather. Sign 2. You overthink everything because your brain was trained to. People may call you an overthinker, but they don't understand where it comes from. Your brain learned early that small mistakes could have emotional consequences. So now your mind constantly scans. What did they mean by that? Did I say something wrong? What happens next? It's exhausting, but it also creates an unusual ability, pattern recognition. You notice inconsistencies faster than most people because your mind became trained to search for hidden outcomes before they happen. What others call overthinking is sometimes advanced threat prediction.
Sign 3. You can sense fake people immediately. Some people need months to realize someone is manipulative. You often know within minutes. Not because you're cynical, because you recognize emotional performance. People with traumatic intelligence become experts at detecting masks. You notice rehearsed kindness, calculated charm, forced humility, strategic victimhood, and many manipulative people dislike you instantly for one reason. They sense you can see through them. You make dishonest people uncomfortable without even trying. Sign 4. You became independent very early. Emotionally healthy people usually learn trust first. People with traumatic intelligence often learn self-reliance first. You became emotionally independent because somewhere deep down, you felt unsafe depending on others. So you learned to solve problems alone, suppress emotions, handle stress quietly, expect disappointment. You may appear strong, but that strength was often built from necessity, not choice. And over time, this creates an unusually resilient mind, one that adapts quickly under pressure while others panic. Sign 5. You notice things other people miss. Tiny details stand out to you automatically. A delayed text, a strange silence, a shift in eye contact, someone acting slightly different than usual. Your brain became trained to observe subtle environmental changes. This is why many people with traumatic intelligence excel in psychology, strategy, negotiation, leadership, storytelling, creative work, because you naturally detect patterns beneath the surface. You don't just observe behavior, you observe intention. Sign 6. You stay calm during chaos. Ironically, the people who live through emotional chaos often become the calmest in emergencies. While others panic, you focus. While others freeze, your mind becomes sharp. Because your nervous system became familiar with stress long ago, chaos feels strangely normal to you. And although this adaptation came from difficult experiences, it also gives you a rare psychological advantage, the ability to think clearly under pressure. Some of history's strongest leaders developed this exact trait, not because life was easy for them, but because hardship forced mental adaptation. Sign 7. You struggle to fully relax, even during peaceful moments. Part of your mind stays alert. You may constantly anticipate problems, prepare backup plans, replay conversations, expect something to go wrong. This happens because traumatic intelligence often keeps the nervous system in partial survival mode. Your brain learned that danger can appear unexpectedly, so complete relaxation feels unfamiliar. In some cases, peace itself can feel suspicious, and people around you may never realize how mentally exhausting that truly is. Sign 8. You understand people deeply. but feel misunderstood yourself. You can often explain other people's emotions better than they can. You understand motivations, insecurities, defense mechanisms. But when it comes to your own emotions, you may struggle to express them fully because people with traumatic intelligence often learn to analyze emotions before feeling safe enough to experience them. So you become the observer, the listener, the emotionally intelligent one. Yet deep down, you may quietly feel disconnected from others, like nobody fully sees the version of you beneath the survival instincts. Sign 9. You value peace more than status. After enough emotional exhaustion, your priorities change. You stop chasing constant validation. You stop needing to dominate every room. You begin valuing peace, honesty, emotional safety, stability, authenticity. Because once someone experiences enough psychological chaos, calm becomes priceless. People with traumatic intelligence often become extremely selective about who they allow close to them, not because they hate people, because they understand how damaging the wrong energy can be. Sign 10, your pain turned into a form of wisdom. This is the final sign, and the most important one. Traumatic intelligence is not simply hyper-awareness. It's the ability to transform painful experiences into deeper understanding. Some people go through hardship and become bitter. Others become wiser, more empathetic, more observant, more emotionally aware. You begin understanding human nature at a level many people never reach, not through theories, but through lived experience. And while this kind of intelligence often comes with scars, it also creates depth, the kind of depth that cannot be faked. There is one thing almost nobody tells you about traumatic intelligence. Yes, it can make you observant. Yes, it can make you resilient. Yes, it can give you an understanding of people that most never develop, but it comes with a hidden cost. Because when your mind spends years learning how to detect danger, it can forget how to recognize safety. You become the person who notices everything, the shift in someone's tone, the tension behind a smile, the warning signs everyone else misses. And while that ability can protect you, it can also exhaust you, because awareness is powerful, but constant awareness is heavy. You may walk into a room and instantly understand the emotional dynamics. You may sense conflict before it begins. You may recognize manipulation before anyone else notices it. But sometimes you wish you could simply stop analyzing, just for a moment, just long enough to experience life without scanning it. The truth is that traumatic intelligence often creates a strange loneliness, not because you are alone, but because few people understand what is happening inside your mind. They see wisdom, they see strength, they see emotional control. What they don't see is the effort it takes to carry all of that awareness every single day. And that's why healing becomes so important, because the goal isn't to lose your intelligence. The goal is to stop treating every situation like a potential threat, to understand that your awareness can serve you without controlling you, that you can remain observant without remaining afraid. You can stay wise without staying guarded. You can keep the lessons without carrying the weight. The highest level of traumatic intelligence is not predicting every danger. It's knowing when danger is no longer present. It's learning to trust your judgment, then allowing yourself to rest. Because true strength is not surviving forever. True strength is finally feeling safe enough to live. And when that day comes, your intelligence becomes something even greater than survival. It becomes wisdom. The difference between damage and awareness. If you related to these signs, it does not mean you are broken. It may simply mean your mind adapted to experiences that forced you to become unusually aware of the world around you. But true healing is learning that survival is no longer your only purpose. You do not have to stay trapped in constant alertness forever. The highest form of traumatic intelligence is not just seeing danger clearly, it's eventually learning how to feel safe again. And that may be the rarest strength of all. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to Wise Mind Insights for more deep psychology and human behavior content.